The IDF is the goofiest terrorist organization of all time. The IDF was caught lying about their raid, the hospital raid on Hamas. And now, after their raid, and after they was caught planning shit like this and doing it in the most blatant way, you have the corporate media that is now turning against them. So I'm gonna show you guys just another receipt here. Big shout out to Hotspot who helped me produce my videos for putting this stuff together. Let me read this. Despite there being no Hamas in the area, Israeli forces have raided Ibn Sina Hospital in Jenin. Since October 7th, IDF Israeli settlers have killed an estimated 200 people in the West Bank, and no explanation has been given as to the cause of the occupation. Now, CNN is going to get their ass for that, which is extremely surprising to me, where you're going to see Jake Tapper, just like they lost Wolf, they lost Jake, they lost the Tap Man. They lost Tap Man. That's how bad and embarrassing Israeli propaganda is to the most propagandized country in the world, the United States and Britain, right? Let me show you guys this, because I'm going to show you guys who the real terrorists are, which is Israel. You have Israeli IDF soldiers boasting about raiding children's schools. You had TikTok influencers in Israel that bragging about bombing hospitals and bombing kids. IDF soldiers celebrating the murder of civilians. So they are losing the PR war and the propaganda war in a way I've never seen Israel lose it. I've never seen the BBC and CNN turn against Israel like the way that I'm about to show you guys. And this is one of the reasons why. The caption for this video says, invading an elementary school and smashing student certificates on the wall is sure to help Israel's propaganda war. This is one of many examples of IDF people just bragging about their war crimes. You're a real warrior, pal. You guys notice how Israel did a ground offensive and now they're open to hostage exchanges, right? And they had to bomb hospitals, right? Because as soon as they started their ground invasion, Hamas started kicking their ass. They got their ass kicked. So they resorted to doing the one thing they always do, bombing hospitals, killing kids. So when people join the IDF, when they are forced to join the IDF in this militaristic terrorist state known as Israel, they do so with the expectation and understanding that they're going to kill and murder kids, they're going to displace civilians, and they're going to raise schools, and they're happy about it. I told you guys many times before, everything they tell you about Hamas is true of Israel. Now, this raid of the hospital has been such a disaster for Israel that the BBC and Western media is calling them out for this because the whole idea, like Biden backed up, because Biden and the United States government is the biggest purveyor of misinformation in the world. Biden helped spread the false claim that Hamas was hiding in Al-Shifa hospital. So Israel said we're going to raid the hospital and we're going to expose the Hamas terror cell in Al-Shifa hospital. And it went as badly as we knew it would be. And as anyone who had common sense, I told you guys, how many times I told you guys on this channel that the idea that Hamas is implanted in hospitals is absurd. And anyone who repeated that should never be taken seriously on anything ever again. Tim Pool, the entire right wing, David Pakman, everybody who repeated that garbage that Hamas was under hospitals. They bombed the hospitals and then they couldn't confirm dead Hamas people. They bombed the hospitals, but you never saw pictures of the tunnels. You saw made up bullshit, political fan fictions of what the hospitals theoretically look like. Why are they showing us theoretical pictures of what the tunnels look like? If the tunnels existed, wouldn't they show you the fucking tunnels? You brainwashed Westerners. How does that not click to people? Hey, we got the IDF. We have this analysis. We drew this picture of Hamas tunnels. We have estimate. We estimate that they look like this. If they had tunnels, they would show you instead of drawing a picture of it. Are we clear? But despite this, Biden defends the Israeli hospital raid because he doubled down on the claim that Hamas is in the hospital. Now, for a second time, I decided not to show the whole video. Let's see if I can put the cloak. Here you go. Here it is. Maybe I should find the video. Maybe wonder if I can find it real quick because I do remember seeing it. But Biden said he declared it was a fact that Hamas had their headquarters, their military hidden under a hospital. Fuck, I actually do need to find it up. I actually do need to pull that up. I don't want to be lazy. I apologize. I should prepare slightly better for this. Here it is. That's where. Fuck. Oh, well, I'll just read the quote. The video not that big of a deal. Here's the quote. President Biden declared it was a fact that Hamas had their headquarters, their military hidden under a hospital. He said it was a fact. And in the video I'm referencing, Biden was asked, where's the evidence of this? He's like, I'm not going to show you guys that. I've seen the evidence, but I'm not going to show you the evidence. If they have, and I've explained to you guys many times before, if they had evidence, they would show you the evidence. If they had evidence, here it is. Sorry, it took me a while. I had to search for it again. Here's the video. As I mentioned, if they had evidence of something, they will show you that. It had evidence of weapons of mass destruction. It had evidence of Assad gassing their own people. They will show you that. If they had evidence of these Hamas operation systems in hospitals as they was taking heat for bombing hospitals, you think they wouldn't tell you or show you? Why would anyone believe that? But meanwhile, it's taken as fact by David Pakman in liberal media, Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro in right-wing media. They all take it as fact. RBN and our friends, we're the only sane people in the room, apparently. Here's a clip.
Who can hold the knowledge? No, I can't. I won't tell you.
Yeah, I wish this one had subtitles.
Yes. Yes.
And Mr. President, after today, would you feel the first presidency as a
This video doesn't have subtitles, so I'll read you the context here. Biden absolutely confident Hamas headquarters is beneath Shifa Hospital. And he was asked, can you tell us what intelligence you have? Biden said, no, I cannot tell you. I won't tell you. So Savvy, RBN sister Savvy says, Biden needs to resign immediately. He has no evidence for this claim. Remember, if they had evidence, they will show you. Wouldn't they? Now, this is the BBC. The Western media had enough. I'm going to try my best to explain to you guys what is about to, why the BBC and CNN decided to go out to Israel. I will openly admit that it doesn't really make sense to me. We've seen Israel be defended by the BBC and CNN despite massive atrocities. So my explanation is that the BBC and CNN is offended by Israel's pathetic propaganda. That CNN and BBC will have Israel's back as much as possible until they started hurting their credibility. Like, seriously. That's the only explanation I can give you guys, but because I've seen BBC and CNN cover for Israel on worse shit. Well, I wouldn't say worse shit, because it doesn't get worse than this, to be honest. So I would say maybe this was the lie in the sand. I can't really explain it. So let's play the video. I'm gonna read some comments, see how you guys explain it. Because when I watch these two segments, my mind is blown. I can't explain to you guys why the Israeli bought BBC and CNN is now doing this. My only explanation is because of ego. That's the best I got. So let's watch this BBC takedown. This is them explaining how Israel lied to the world and failed to produce evidence that Hamas was in Al-Shifa Hospital.
Verify has been examining the different sources of information that we have on this. Israel described the Al-Shifa hospital as the main headquarters for Hamas's terrorist activity. This IDF animation, posted in late October, claims to represent a Hamas tunnel system underneath the hospital. But having been inside Al-Shifa since early Wednesday, Israel's yet to produce evidence of the tunnels. It has allowed the BBC and Fox News to film at the hospital, though only locations of Israel's choice.
This is what they found.
Israel also released its own 7-minute video, which BBC Verify has analysed. A watch visible in that video suggests it was filmed a few hours before the BBC arrived. And this IDF video was posted, then deleted, then reposted, this time without a section referring to an Israeli soldier who'd been held hostage.
So you guys see how the BBC is deeply unimpressed. This is why I can only have the unscientific commentary on this as I do. It's because the propagandists at BBC in the United States, the two most propagandized country in the world, is looking at Israel's doing, and it's not like they don't approve. It's that they are shocked at how bad Israel is at trying to prove their claim that Hamas is in hospitals. So I apologize that the audio a little bit low. I won't talk that much during these videos, so you can turn it up if you have to. So I'll let it continue. But look at how deeply unimpressed the BBC is.
And this IDF video was posted, then deleted, then reposted, this time without a section referring to an Israeli soldier who'd been held hostage.
I don't know when this was used the last time.
Also in the video, we see a room with an MRI machine.
And if you zoom in and we get some light over here, what you'll be able to see is military equipment.
The BBC was shown the same room. And what we see in the two videos doesn't precisely match. For example, there's one gun in the IDF video, two by the time of the BBC footage. Israel has told BBC Verify this is because more weaponry and terrorist assets were discovered throughout the day.
And as always, an AK-47.
Israel also says its video is a single shot with no edits. But this appears to be an edit. We don't know the reasons for that edit, nor how significant it is. The IDF, though, says suggestions it's manipulating the media are incorrect. The IDF video also shows military equipment in other locations, though we can't verify how it came to be there. And what we see in this IDF video doesn't equate to Israel's description of Al-Shifa as an operational command center for Hamas. The US is using a different phrase, saying Al-Shifa was used as a command and control node. That implies a much smaller facility. And as Israel makes the case for this operation, let's consider the Geneva Conventions, the foundations of the rules of war.
You guys wasn't considering the Geneva Conventions when you guys gave them the AOK, when you guys kept saying Israel had the right to defend himself when they do not. But you guys see how the BBC is just embarrassed? And it's almost like they saw what happened. They said we have to clown this. Like, as professional propagandists, it's our obligation to clown Israel so they can get better. Like, this is like constructive criticism. Like, bro, you guys are fucking garbage. Like, we're in the new age. You guys can't be this terrible at propaganda anymore. Here's the Guardian calling them out. The real propagandists are seeing the amateurs, the goofs in Israel, and they are sick to their stomach because they have to align with them. Their bosses tell them to. They've been living their entire life believing in Israel, and now that they see how absolutely goofy their propaganda is, they are embarrassed by association. The IDF in Israel, they are the goofiest terrorist organization of all time, as I said. Here's the Guardian. IDF evidence so far falls well short of Al-Shifa Hospital being Hamas HQ. You guys see the cope there? So far. So far they don't got it. They might produce it, but thus far, no, we don't got it yet. What did we tell you guys at RBN from day one? Mark it on, check another one where RBN was out in front telling you guys. I was laughing at the idea that Hamas has their headquarters in hospitals. Do you guys remember? You guys remember how I was laughing about this for weeks? Meanwhile, on Tim Pool, on David Pakman, on Ben Shapiro, you know shows that get way more views than we do? They was repeating that shit as fact. They still repeating that as fact. You know how Mediaite ranked us as the most extreme, left-wing, unreliable news source in America? We're one of the few people who got this right. From day one, I told you guys it's absurd. You had doctors working there for decades. If Hamas had control centers and they ran a hospital, wouldn't the doctors realize that? Wouldn't they tell people that? There's so much this is basic critical thinking that could have told you that this was not true. Now, this last video I'm going to show you guys. Once again, if you lose CNN, if you lose the BBC, that shows that you guys are fucking goose. How do you lose Jake Tapper? You lost to fucking Tap Man. How is that possible?